Coming to you from the recesses of the proverbial Dawn Forge pouch. This is episode 259 of the Shattered Soulstone. It's been a month. Today's episode is brought to you by Audible. Get your free audiobook download, bit.ly/SoulstoneBooks2020. Over 180,000 titles to choose from for your iPod, MP3 player, or your real man's phone. Today is April 28th, 2020, and Shazam back again. I think today or yesterday was, it's been a month since I've actually worked. So I have no idea when I'm going back to work. There's obviously May 8th is a big date because that's when the stay-at-home order lapses for Pennsylvania. But the 18th of this month, it's mandatory to wear a mask everywhere you go, and I hate that. I hate wearing a mask just to walk into a freaking store. Now, granted, I don't go into stores very often. I haven't went grocery shopping in probably 2 weeks now, and I'm fine. I don't really need anything. I need beverages every now and then, but that's about it. And I go usually to the gas station to get a whole bunch of sodas and a gallon of iced tea, and that usually holds me off for a week. Or if I go grocery shopping, I just buy a couple 12 packs, and it holds me off for a while. But yeah, I don't know, when I do go back to work, when's that going to be? And how busy are we going to be? I'm not going to go back to work and stand there for 24 hours. Stand there and get paid 24 hours a week, when essentially I can sit at home and make more money. Now, granted, I could go to work and make 30 hours or 35 hours a week if there was work there, but let's all be completely honest. When this is all said and done, people ain't going to be rushing to a car dealership to get their car worked on. They're not rushing there now, so they're not going to be rushing there afterwards. And like I said before, my pay gets based on what I do at work, not how long I'm there. So I could stand there for 8 hours and not get paid for nothing, and it's demoralizing. And yeah, just gonna leave it at that. I checked all the usual places before I started the show today. There's absolutely zero blue notes. The last blue note was on the 17th, whenever it was talking about double goblins for the rest of the season. That's it. Diablo fans didn't have anything. Keep seeing Leviathan put out videos. He's above 3,000 paragon right now. I think he's doing every class. When I say he's doing every class, he's at least top 10 in all of them. I would assume by now. A couple of them, he's top 2. So give a shout out to that guy. he's legit. I hate I hate looking at the leaderboard and seeing people that you know question question the authenticity of their paragon and stuff like that. This dude, you know, you know him. Everybody knows him by now. Speaking of botters and stuff, on the forums, that's the big, like the three things that I seen while I was on the forums looking was, you know, the same people from last year, the same people from a couple months ago, they're quitting again because, this game isn't for them anymore, and this is why, and blah blah blah. I'm never coming back, blah blah blah. The posts that I mean. You got them. You got the paragon shouldn't exist. These +5 stats, to main stat. It's getting boring. Well, yeah, you've had how many seasons of it? You know what I mean? It ain't gonna change. It hasn't changed in 20 now. It ain't gonna change in 20 more. And the other one was, that the whole leaderboards are covered with botters, and Blizzard should do something about it. It's they do what they want to do. They're the people that make the game. They're the people that pay for the servers. We give them money. We don't give them Diablo III money anymore. I'll tell you that. They run the game as the way they see fit. If you don't like it, then there's not much you can do other than complain or leave. I don't know what else to tell you. If we're working on Diablo 4, just be patient, and it'll be out in our lifetimes unless something tragic happens. Other than that, not really much going on, considering it's only been, I don't know what, 4 or 5 days since I filmed the last one. Yeah, it's been 5 days. My mind's not there. Like, I didn't even realize it was Tuesday till like now. I didn't really. The only thing I've done since then is played one game and one game only. And I started out waking up at about 7:30 in the morning and playing until 2 o'clock in the morning and then going to bed. And at some point in time in them 5 days, something switched in my brain. I don't know what it was. And I had to start setting an alarm because I would sleep till 11 o'clock. But in return, I would come out here, start playing the video game. And then, like, I knew it was, like, dark. And then I knew it was, like, getting close to midnight. But then I lose track of time. And then, like, because I just have, like, it's literally just YouTube videos playing on my other TV at not really high volume when I'm not doing anything story related. And I just have it play it at full screen and I can't tell what time it is. And there's been days like yesterday morning, or I'd say this morning, that I go look at the clock. I'm like, man, it should be like 2 o'clock in the morning. And I look and it's like, holy hell, it's 4. I really need to go to bed, and then I lay back in bed and I'm not tired and I want to play some more. I don't want to force myself to sleep because I should sleep be I should have been in bed by now. But that game I think is everything I'd hoped it would be, and yeah, I'm just gonna, since there's not really anything else to talk about, I'm gonna try and recruit people by telling them the similarities between Diablo 3 and Fantasy Star Online 2, and what makes it like, once you grasp, like it took me 2 days to grasp everything, as a whole. Then I start figuring most of the stuff out without videos and everything like that, and then I, gotta look online because I don't know where certain monsters are, or I don't know where this item drops, or I don't know where these items drop. But I pretty much figured everything else out, and now the game gets fun, and you don't have to level up more than one character. But I'll tell you this: when you do get a character that's level 30 or something, and they've done a lot of stuff in the game, the stuff that's account wide adds experience. Like, you've already completed this account wide. So, I'll give you a perfect example. Made a character. It's my first character. Played it at my parents' house. Played it down here. It's my main character. And I got the like level 20 something or 30 something. I was like, I wanna eventually play my other characters. I'm not gonna I'm not gonna get into this other aspect of the game because if anybody decides to play the game, then I'll explain it to them because it's the only thing that's far left field outside of Diablo, outside of every game that you guys were probably known to play, like WoW or anything like that. But I wanted to get a head start on other characters that I was going to play. So I was like, I'll just create them, and then I'll just, go doing the thing that I'm not going to talk about. And I'll log on a couple times a day, do that thing, and then I'll just, by the time I play the game, I'll be way more powerful than like a normal level 1 character is. So I create the character, and I get into the game, and uh, like when the system is going to tell you something or stuff like that, you can't move. So immediately you just start hitting B on the game on your controller, and it just starts completing quests. And just completes quests, and you just hear the level up ding and stuff like that. Then you could walk over to like 3 NPCs and click on their things, and you get like I was level like 15 in like a minute, and you're like, it's 15 levels I didn't need to get. That's what makes it nice. That's what makes it so if you want to level up another character, it's not like this really bad grind that you have to worry about. You're already getting a good head start. You know what I mean? So similarities between Phantasy Star, newest game, and Diablo 3. Or Blizzard games. I'll start with Diablo 3, and then I'll get in the Blizzard games, and then I'll wrap it up with the microtransactions, because obviously it's a free to play game. There's microtransactions, and that's what everybody's worried about. Microtransactions. But I feel that if Blizzard put some of these in Diablo 4, I wouldn't mind it. Some of these I do mind, and I feel it's I don't know. I'll talk about it at the end, and I'll tell everybody my, you know, I want to pay as little as possible and get the most enjoyment. And if I play a certain amount and I get a certain amount of enjoyment out of a game, I don't mind spending money. I'm not a shark. I'm not a whale or whatever. I'm not gonna spend hundreds and hundreds of dollars. But I will give a company up to 60, 70, $80, maybe even 100, if they justify the game. You know what I mean? Because let's face it, if you're gonna go out and buy a game right now, you're paying $60. If it's a brand new game, it's $60. I don't care what it is. It's 60 to $100, depending on if Ubisoft does the freaking gold editions, or you get the stupid collector's editions that only come with in-game stuff. You pay for everything at this point in time with video games, and people and publishers and everything know that certain people pay for certain stuff, and they will milk it. Yeah. So similarities between Diablo 3 and Phantasy Star. Um, well, let's say Diablo 3 and Diablo 4. Um, the stats in the game, like your main stats, are kind of like Diablo 4's. May sound bad, but it's not really that bad. You got three different types of characters. You got the sword people, you got the gun people, and you got the magic people. Just like Diablo. Um, the sword people take melee, use like it, you want to max as much melee damage boosters as possible, range people as much range damage boosters as possible, magic people as much magic boosters as possible. That is basically your stats. Other than there's a lot of stuff that I'm still trying to grasp on on like your defense. But if anybody plays the game, I'll tell them what I found so far, and I'll just leave it at that. Items in the game, just like Diablo 3's, kinda. There's different classes of items, obviously. It's like every other freaking game out there. Um, Phantasy Star does it in stars. I think there's up to 13 star weapons, 13 star armors. I want to call them tiers, I guess. You can call them tiers if you want to get in the WoW terms. But at the base of them weapons is a base damage. So whatever weapon you get, there's a base damage, and there's a base amount of basically slots in this that you can have different properties. If you find a weapon, you go over, you get it, you basically Deckard Cain it. You You identify it. If you don't like any of the you know, let's put it in Diablo 3 terms. If you didn't like your Yang's recurve because it didn't have let's go the easy route because it didn't have discipline. You could walk over to the enchanter and enchant it, and then that item's bound, and you can't enchant anything else. Phantasy Star, if you don't like all of them, you can find let's say all five things. If say the item has five properties you don't like, and you want to change every one of them. You find five items that have properties that you do want. You go over to the enchanter in this game. You pay a lot of money, but you could pick what properties you want that weapon to have, and then that weapon has them properties, and it's the best weapon that you want. Same goes with armor. Other similarity is ancient items in Diablo you can augment. This game you can augment these too. I'm pretty sure it's called it's either augment or enhancement. I can't remember what it is, but I think they go up to 30. And it tells you, you know, how much the stats go up for each time you augment it, stuff like that. And once you get to 30, there's five more. But let's say that the weapon you want to go five more, you have to find the same exact weapon and keep enchanting the original one with the same exact base weapon, and then that'll enchant it to 31 to 32 and it's a lot of rare items and a lot of rare materials that you're going to need and a lot of money to do this. But it's essentially the same thing as augmenting in Diablo 3. It's not really much difference. There's a lot of people that call this an MMO. I don't consider this game to be an MMO. Um, it's more on the lines of Diablo 3's. As if I wanted to play alone, which I do currently, because unless I find somebody, on our Discord or in real life, you know, people that I know in person that want to play this game, I'm not going to really play with them very much. So everything you could do in this game, you could just set a random password, friends only. Nobody else can get in your game. So you could literally have free reign of this map as much as you want. And now there's places, like if you go, you know, usually each area, you want to call it, has three maps. Go, you find a doorway, you go through the doorway, go to, map 2 and then map 3. Map 3 is usually the boss. Map 2 usually seems to be that if somebody else is running the same thing, they call that the multiplayer, part. And I don't know how many people can be in there, but you rarely run across them. And it's usually during like a big fight that you wish you had another player there. And they magically appear. You fight the thing, you kill it, you get the loot, and they magically disappear again. And you're like, that's weird. That's usually where I see random people that aren't in your party that are, in the same map as you. But nobody else can join your party. Nobody else, the like Diablo 4, there's random events, and you go to Fantasy Star Online 2's website. There's a calendar every day. They plot out the entire month of what random events are going to happen at certain times and certain days. Everything's plotted out. Guess you really wouldn't call it a random event, but you know these big huge events that require it's I think a max party can be 4 people, including yourself, and each one of these big events that are happening, like a party in like your party's 4 people, a big event's happening, you port to this big event, 3 parties could get together and take out that monster. Kind of like you've seen at the Diablo 4 demo at BlizzCon. It's usually a multi-phase fight, and it usually takes, if you're playing the hardest difficulty, it's usually like a 20 or a 30-minute fight. And if you get people that are, let's say you get 6 people that ain't geared or 6 people that ain't level, and you're doing the hardest difficulty, and you fail it, you're going to be very mad. 25 minutes that you spent playing was for nothing. Because if you don't kill the boss, you don't get no loot, and it's going to, and there's people complaining on the forums about it. And these people don't realize, you know, just because the game says you can do this difficulty doesn't mean you should be doing this difficulty. Crafting in this game, like, I don't know, like, they're telling me, like, I see YouTube videos that they're saying that there's going to be crafting that's, you know, bigger than what I see in this game, and like crafting they say is not out yet. But right now I see crafting, like, you can have 2 rings in this game, one for the right hand, one for the left hand. It requires mats. You got to go out and farm these mats, go back, make your ring, put it on. Make sure you find a lot more mats than you need for the ring. Because these rings in this game, like, let's say you kill monsters, the experience and the monsters, there's levels it up, and I think you can have like a max of 4 levels or something. Then you have to augment your ring because it can't gain experience anymore. And for each level you level up, you need a certain amount of the base things that made you make that ring. That's the only thing crafting really that I see. There's another thing that I haven't gotten yet. Like, I'm still waiting on this. Like, when I logged out to do the show, the random event or whatever that I was talking about just happened, and it's going to be a bunch of hours before the next one happens. But I need another one of them random events to happen because for the last, 3 or 4 days, I've been grinding, certain aspects of this game to get a weapon. You don't have to, but it's a really, 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 really good weapon. And the way they the way they gate good, really good weapons in this game is you need 3 other weapons to make the weapon you want. And there's a percentage counter on each weapon. And if it reaches 100%, the next time you fight a boss, it's guaranteed to drop. I've 2 of the 3 items that I needed are going to take me to 100% for them to drop. One I had get to 100% and I fought a boss, I don't know, like noon today, and I got that one done. And now this one, I can only get the percentage up doing random events, so I have to wait for another random event to happen. And then I gotta grind that random event. I think it's 7 more times before I'm guaranteed to get this item to drop. And then I can go make this really good weapon. So by the end of tonight, I'll have. I don't know. I don't know the amount of weapons that we currently have in the game versus what's possible in the game whenever they're done gating it. But I would assume I'm probably going to have maybe top 5 of what's possible right now. Maybe top 3, I don't know. I don't know the items versus, I don't know the GG best in slots stuff for all the characters and stuff. It's only been, 5 days of me grinding this game. But yeah, that's how you can get really good weapons in the game. The grinding aspect. Let's say you want to go do, I don't know how many different areas there are in the game. There's at least 12 to 15, maybe 18. I know it's in threes, but I can't remember the exact amount. I can count them, but I don't have the game loaded up, so I don't know. There's a bunch. You ain't gonna get bored anytime soon. And in each one of these different areas, it's basically like Diablo. It's a random map. It's not the same map every time. So, you know, you're not bored. The only thing about that is there's certain parts of the map that like you gotta basically jump over something and then you can keep going and like you really don't see it because of the power of the Xbox and stuff like that about the graphics. But I don't know. We'll find out next month whenever it comes to PC how much better it is on my PC versus on my Xbox. Um, there's 15 to 18 maps, different areas. There's 15 to 18 bosses in each one of them. Each one of them has a rare boss that's possible to spawn instead of the regular boss. So that makes it at least double the amount of bosses that you could have in the game. There's a story. There's absolutely 0 cutscenes in this game. If you want the cutscenes, you literally, and this is what takes up a lot of my, like, at the end of the night, like when I'm tired and I don't feel like playing anymore, I just sit at the freaking at the counter and I sit there and go through every cutscene because it unlocks certain stuff in the story mode, in the game, and you just sit there and you just keep clicking it and it's loading screen after loading screen after loading screen, and it's like I sat there one day for like 2 hours and it was, and you're like, what's this doing? Like, why can't they just add like all these cutscenes to the game, make it organic, so you're not like looking at this cutscene going, what was that about? Oh, or what? I don't even know what that. I don't even know what that was about, because that's the only thing that I find weird about the whole story of the game and how they laid it out. There's people telling me to go watch the anime, but I don't watch animes if they're not in English. I'm not reading it. I'm I'm not passionate of the Christing freaking anime just to watch it. Either it comes to English dubbed, or I don't watch it, because I'm not going to sit there episode after episode and read every bit of dialogue in a game. I mean, in a anime series. Um, yeah. Um, the thing that makes it like kind of like WoW is there's daily quests and weekly quests, and if you do all the daily quests, which is 5, and you could have them done pretty quick. Like, for me, it takes me the longest trying to figure out how to do something that's quite easy to do, but you don't know how to do it because you haven't played this game very long and you've never done it before. Like today, for example, it says like somebody's look in the game. How do you do that? It doesn't tell you how to do that. Then you have to go over, to to this one part, and you literally have to search for what people have posted of what their character looks like, and you have to pick one out and click like, and that quest is done. That's all you had to do. But that was the last one I had. That was the last one I finished today. I had no idea how to do it. I really don't care what anybody looks like in this game other than what my characters look like, because I'm never talking to them anyway. um, you know, they say you can finish them in about, they say to do the weeklies, you could probably finish them in an hour. Um, you could probably do the dailies in 20-30 minutes. You know, doesn't take very long once you get the hang of it. But what these do, whenever you finish all 5 dailies and finish, I think there's 5 or 7 weeklies, I can't remember. It gives you boosts for the rest of the time. Like if you do the weekly, you get a boost for the rest of the week. You do the daily, you get a boost for the rest of the day. But it's more experience, more rare items drop, more money drops. And each time you do the dailies and each time you do the weeklies, you get more of that stuff. And that's what makes it nice, because they give you an incentive to do them early, and they give you an incentive to do them, all the time, because it basically makes you level up quicker. Not very much quicker, but it makes you level up quicker, and it makes the money in the game easier to get, and it makes the rare items easier to get. Um, Not saying they're going to be good rare items, but they're rare items. Um, just like Diablo, it's all random stuff that drops. Either it's good or it's not. Yeah, other than that's basically about it. There's not really much else. Like, I really enjoy the game. If if you like Diablo, I will find it hard to believe that you wouldn't like this game. Like, if you like the hunting for, like, leveling up and hunting for items and 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 fighting fighting bosses and stuff like that. If you find that enjoyable, you will enjoy Phantasy Star. Um, just like the Nephilim and Greater Rift thing. There's grinding in this game. There's a lot of grinding in this game. But at the end of the day, it's going to be worth it when your character's, really high level and, you could basically do everything in the game that you can possibly do. Um, the only, like, Phantasy Star Universe back in the day, and everybody, Greed and most of the people that know me in the Discord and stuff like that basically know that I can sit there and play Diablo for 15, 16 hours a day and do that and do it over and over again until I basically burnt myself out of the game. Now I just do that for like the first month of a season and basically fall off from there. But Phantasy Star Universe, me and my buddies played on Xbox, and we did every bit of content in that game up to a point. We didn't finish one achievement in that game because we got burnout of waiting for them to come out with content and waiting for them to make the content, and we got basically tired of waiting, so we quit because we got burnout from doing the same stuff over and over again with absolutely zero incentive because we all had everything in the game and all of our alts had everything in the game that we all wanted. Like, we could go in there with all of our characters, whether I'm be healing or somebody else be healing and everybody else doing DPS and stuff, and we could literally fight any boss in the game without a problem on the hardest difficulty. And we did that because it's just the way we were. And I feel that we did that a lot quicker than most people. But I don't know. We got tired of waiting for like the last patch of content, or not the last, like the last achievement to come out, that we just got burnt out and quit when we all went to different games and stuff like that. But you know, that was after, I want to say, 3 years of playing. Now, granted, we didn't play as much as I played Diablo III. I literally just got out of college and I was working, and living on my own and stuff like that. And yeah, I met all them friends playing that game. I met them all in one lobby one day, and I joined their party, and the rest was history. Um, but yeah, we were pretty good at that game, and this game is kind of the same thing. There's a lot of stuff that's different, um, but it's more in lines of Diablo now, and that's what makes it that's what makes it enjoyable. And they're gating it right now because PC comes out in May, and they don't want the Xbox people to have, they don't want to release content and then PC people get in the game and be like, we missed stuff from a couple weeks ago because we weren't able to play it. And I think that's why they're holding off on releasing the content. But supposedly by the end of 2020, all the content that Japan has right now, the United States is going to have right now by the end of 2020. It's going to be basically even. And right now they only gave us half of it. Whenever they give us, if they're going to give us the other half, or if they're going to break it off and give us a little bit here, and then wait a month or two, give us a little bit here, wait a month or two, give us a little bit here, until the whole game is released in North America, I don't know. But I've been waiting for this game to come out in North America since Diablo 3's release, and it really it sucked that it took Microsoft to pay the bill to get it to come to America. Because there were so many people that played it on every console back in the day, but Sega didn't feel there was enough people in America that liked the game or played the game and gave them enough money to justify spending money to get it English translated and brought to America. But Microsoft felt that it was worth the money. I find that really weird. But this is just coming from my end that has liked Phantasy Star since 2002, 2001, whenever the first Phantasy Star Online came out. And enjoyed the grinding and stuff like that. And, the average person has never played this game. And because I guarantee a Phantasy Star Universe flew underneath everybody's radar. Reason being is that if you bought Phantasy Star Universe on console back in the day, you played that game offline, was a completely different game than what you played online. Like the online version was like Diablo, was like World of Warcraft, was like, you basically started from level 1, you leveled up to whatever the level cap was, I can't remember what it was back then. And you ground certain maps for your gear, and that was basically it. That was basically Phantasy Star Universe in a nutshell. And then they released more maps, more areas, and then harder difficulties. And with the like the weird thing that Sega does with Phantasy Star is, let's say that you play this game and you play it normal and then you play it hard and you go up through everything, but you don't do it on the hardest difficulty, you do it on a difficulty below the hardest. The hardest difficulty, like in World of Warcraft, and Sega did this first, is they'll change the way the boss acts. Either there'll be another phase in the fight of a boss, or the mechanics will be completely changed, completely, and you'll have no idea what to do until you get in there and fight the boss. And I find that, that's awesome. Like, you had no idea that you weren't playing like that boss to its full potential until you played it on the hardest difficulty. Yeah, that was, I believe that's one of the other things that Sega done like way before certain other, companies. But at that, I'll leave it at that. If anybody cares any more about the game, just get a hold of me. I'll talk. You know, I could talk for hours about this game. This is like, if anybody had like one game, like that one game that was theirs, or that one series that was theirs, Phantasy Star would be that series for me. And people, like certain people say it's like Destiny. It's not a first person shooter. Um, like the layout's like Destiny. You start at a hub, you take a ship, you go to a planet, and you do maps. That's the only thing it hasn't similar to Destiny that the amount of Destiny that I played, which I can't remember what level 30 or something. That was about the only thing that had similar with Destiny. Other than that, there's not really much else. You can't compare a first-person shooter to a sword-wielding game, a gun-shooting game, and a magic game. You know what I mean? Like the normal, what people would refer to as, um, oh crap, I can't remember what the hell it's called now. Like what usually is in a game like this, or in a game like Diablo, a ranged, a melee, and a magic person. Last thing I'm going to talk about is microtransactions. Um, don't let this number that I'm about to tell you scare you, because again, I love this game. I loved every game before this game, other than the ones for Super Nintendo and Nintendo that I've never played. I don't ever care to play them. I care to play the 3D games. That's about it. Um, but I've spent $45 on this game so far. And if I had to guess, I would probably say I would played this game so far about, I don't know, I played it 5 days, so let's do an even roundabout. Let's say I played this game 60 hours. The the reason I've spent that most of like the majority of it was buying a package that I find out today that people say is not worth the money, but I fell into the trap of this is $30, like the Sonic one, which I didn't care to have. I didn't care to look like Sonic in the game. I didn't care to look like Tails in the game. I didn't care to look like any of that. I wanted to take the Phantasy Star Online 1 stuff, the music, and stuff like that. And if they're going to give it to me for $30 and all the character outfits, what they look like and stuff like that, if they're going to give me all that, and I just started playing the game for $30, and that's what I enjoy. Like that's what is in my memory is the music and the outfits that were in the old games. That's a quick sell that's a quick buy for me. But there's certain stuff in that package that people can buy with like in-game money that I didn't find out about till today that I get in that package. Um, that's $30 of the money. $15, and how do I say this? $15 I bought inventory, and I can't think of the other thing that I bought. I can't remember now. I bought something else. I can't remember what the heck it was. It was like $15. So, and $1 more is a paid a dollar for Xbox Game Pass, because you need to, for me, playing on Xbox, I needed to pay to get an Xbox Live account, because I haven't played my Xbox in, like I said, forever. So I paid a dollar to get an Xbox Game Pass that comes with Xbox Live, and that gave me a whole bunch of free stuff in game. That was a dollar, and that was well worth a dollar, because you know, Xbox for what, a month is like $10. So if I can get that for 10%, I'm gonna do it. And you know, breaking news is I'm only gonna need it for a month, and then it goes to PC, and then I don't have to worry about paying it ever again. Um, but their microtransactions in the game is they give you 50 inventory slots, and at any point in time, it's not like Diablo. At any point in time, you can open your inventory and send stuff to your stash. Any point in time. But I didn't want 50 item slots, I wanted more. So $7 of that went to 20 more item slots. 10 inventory slots cost $3.50. Is that good or is that bad? I don't know. It's pretty convenient for me. It's convenience. Like I said, you pay for convenience in this game. The things that I don't like, and I probably will never pay for, is, let's say you wanted more item storage, and they give you quite a bit of item storage. They give you 3 characters that can have 200 slots each, and then your regular storage can have, I think it's 200 slots, so it's like 800 slots of inventory, of stash space. That's a lot of stash space, because you could literally have 3 characters, do what people do in Diablo. Yeah, just take all the stuff from one character out of your stash and basically hold on to it. You can do that. Or you could have them characters hold on to it with 50 items there, and then put 200 in their character inventory, and then, you know, now you've just freed up 250 more slots. So you can do that 3 times. So that's a lot of storage there that they give you. Um, the microtransactions I don't like is they don't sell you extra stash space. Like, let's say in PoE you can buy an extra stash tab for X amount of dollars, or if it's on sale, it's, whatever percentage off. You want a stash space in this game, you can pay for it for 30 days, you can pay for it for 60 days, or you can pay for it for 90 days. And when one of them are over, you lose access to that extended storage again. That's one thing that I do not like. Like, that's stash space. That's BS. you can buy scratch tickets, which I don't know how much they are. I got so many of them for free that I have no idea what they cost in game, which I would never pay for them anyway. Because like all the ones like the ones that you're supposed to pay for through Xbox Games Pass and through everything else. I got so many of them that I could use them on every time they come out with a new scratch, a new basically a new lottery ticket, and I can use them for the next half of a year and be fine. But I'll never pay for them. And the things that unlocks, and this is where the people that um, are really worried about what their character looks like, they'll scratch them all day until they get all the all the dresses or the wings or whatever drops out of them. People spend tons and tons of money on that kind of stuff. I ain't. My character looks like a freaking a rope, like looks like a transformer, and I really don't care. Um, the only like the shady microtransaction that I find it shady, like I find it really shady. But let's say you bought an extra character slot. Extra character slot costs $5. So $5 you can have 4 characters now. Okay, you have 4 characters. You paid $5. You have 4 characters. Let's say one of them characters you don't want anymore and you delete it. Doesn't matter which one. Doesn't matter if it was one of the first three free ones, or if it was the one you paid for. You lose access to that 4th character slot, and you have to pay $5 to get a 4th character slot again. That's one. That's the only really really shady microtransaction in the game. Everything else is convenience. If you want more storage, it's whatever money it is. Like it's like $8 for 90 days. Um, I haven't needed it. I've only had this game for 5 days. I haven't needed it. But I don't ever see the need to need it. If you're hoarding that much crap stuff, you got a problem. Your character can only hold so much. Character can only wear so much stuff at a time. And if your characters are all max level or close to it, why holding on all that crap? You know. That's basically about it with the game. I don't want to. I don't know. I don't want to bore people anymore. If it's just boring, I don't know. I'm just going over the stuff in a different game than what people come to listen to this podcast for. But there's no news, and there's a lot of time to kill. But I, like I said, I enjoy the ever living crap out of this game. Hopefully, I can get more people to play it. Hopefully, I can get Greed to play it at the end of May when it comes out for PC, because he can't. His kid hoards all of his kids' consoles and won't let anybody play them. So Greed can't play with me on Xbox. But yeah, other than that, that's about it with the game. Diablo lore, you go to bookofgen.net. She does about 15, 20-minute episodes of Diablo lore. Um, it's she's up to 20 episodes now, so it's 20 things you guys can learn about Diablo that you might not have known before. There's a lot of people. Well, there's some people on YouTube that I see their lore videos, and some of them aren't very legit, but hers are seem to be seem to be 100% accurate. Um, like this one dude, I joined his Discord and everything because I liked his videos, and then I watched certain videos, and you're like, that's not right. Um, is what it is. Nobody else in any of the Diablo podcasts or anything know about this guy, and somehow I find this guy on YouTube, and he's starting out and doing lore videos for Diablo 2 and Diablo 3, and yeah, yeah, bookofgen.net. Whenever the new website comes, it'll be all the way at the bottom of our main site, and just click on it there. I really haven't watched anything. I haven't listened to any books. You still need to finish the Jim Ross book. Um, Literally just been watching Disney Plus for X-Men the animated series. That's about it. I um I can't remember if I talked about this on last episode or any episodes, but if anybody watched wrestling back in the day, 80s, 90s, the TV channel Vice has has a series called Dark Side of the Ring, and I've watched at least 4 of them episodes so far. Throughout the last couple weeks, and they're pretty interesting. It tells the backstory of a lot of stuff. You know, some of the shady stuff that went on. That nobody like I never knew about. Like I didn't know. You know, when I was a kid, Jimmy Snuka was one of the coolest people. He was the first person, like really jump off the top turnbuckle in that one wrestling match. They always show he jumped off the top of a cage and stuff. And like that guy was always like that dude was always like held in high regard for me because then he retired shortly after, like while I was still a kid. Like then he disappeared, and like you're like, what happened to the guy? After he retired, and then then he died a couple years ago, last year, or whatever. I can't remember what it was. But then you watch this documentary series, and it talks about in the 80s, he basically killed somebody in my state, by the way, and the cops basically covered it up because he was Jimmy Snuka and didn't investigate it at all, and he basically got away with his girlfriend's murder, and you know they're piecing it all together. Sorry, and the cops, the cops just keep denying it, but like like it's all there. Like you like look at it and you're like, this dude killed this lady, and the cops basically, let him get away with it because he was, Superfly Jimmy Snuka. You're like, that's so messed up. And then they decided in that town, since it got so much publicity, they decided in that town, okay, we're going to charge this dude with murder. Let's put him on trial. Oh, wait, he's 75 years old and there's something wrong with him. He's not fit for trial. Really? Like that was so messed up. And like the other episode that I watched from the 80s was Macho Man and Miss Elizabeth, and their on-screen and off-screen you know relationship and stuff like that. That one was interesting. I find it weird that Hulk Hogan wasn't in that one. They talk about him a lot. His ex-wife talks about him, but he's not in that episode at all. I thought that was really weird. But I would assume now watching other Netflix stuff that about the time that they were filming that Vice stuff, probably about the time that Hulk Hogan was trying to sue people for putting out a sex tape and stuff like that. So he had his own problems, you know, let alone filming a documentary about his buddy that he spent 30 years wrestling with, a documentary about him. Um, it's basically about it though. Not really much else. Even the other, even one of the other Diablo podcasters. I'm not going to name any names, but I've seen it on Twitter that he's playing. He's thinking about playing World of Warcraft, and he's been playing Overwatch. So I'm not the only one that hasn't been playing Diablo. Um, yeah, I still give you guys the news every week, and there's absolutely zero this week. And whether it be COVID or whether it be freaking, you know, the season and not having a community manager and stuff like that. But yeah, there's not really much else to talk about. I hear rumors that The Last of Us was um, indefinitely put on hold or something like that. I don't know. I have to look more into that one. I probably wasn't gonna play it anyway. I didn't play the first Last of Us. But I highly doubt I'm gonna play The Last of Us 2. But it's big gaming news. Yeah, that's basically it with the episode. Hopefully, I got you guys to at least get a little bit interested in Fantasy Star. At least try it out. Try it out and play a game with me. I could do the best I can get you guys interested more into it. But yeah, other than that, that's it. You've been listening to episode 259 of the Shattered Soulstone, your Diablo slash Fantasy Star Online community podcast. Missed an episode? You can find the show's blog and listen to the show archives at www.shatteredsoulstone.com. With your support, you can help the show grow. Become a Patreon today. Patreon.com/Soulstone. Come join us in-game or in-game community and clan, both named the Shattered Soulstone. We're open to anybody who would like to join. You can also join us on Discord for the ultimate team and community-based experience. Find the Discord invitation link on our Twitter and Facebook page, as well as the Shattered Soulstone website. This show is powered by you, the listener. Send your contributions, thoughts, questions, and feedback to show@shatteredsoulstone.com. We love Twitter. Come join and tweet with us. You can find the show's Twitter at Shattered Stone, Deadgreed at Deadgreed1812. You can find me at Shazam081. We'd like to extend a huge thank you to Medros at Dawn Forge Productions for hosting our Loot Deviant show. You can find more shows from the Dawn Forge at www.thedawnforge.com. Thank you for listening. Till next time, from all of us here at the Shattered Soulstone, over 258 episodes for your listening pleasure. Dawn Forge.